round out, we have just this nice kind of all blacked out Rolls-Royce Wraith. And then there's something special over there. There's no Pagani here currently. There's something that's special, but we're not going to talk about that in a second. We're going to come this way, and we're going to first check out this, which is, of course, the 430. The 430, though, the 16M, the Scuderia, kind of the a bit more hardcore convertible version of the 430 Scuderia. And then over here, we have this other nice Porsche, a 911 Turbo S. Over here is, Turbo S is pretty standard for Porsche. It's got this cool color. It's got these great wheels, which kind of remind me of the rough style wheels. And then, if we flip around here, we have the Porsche 918. Now, I've only ever seen one of these before, I guess you could say on the roads or in the wild, not at the auto show. And it was a couple years ago at the launch for the Ace Spade Rally. You guys might remember there was that black 918 with kind of the green livery all around it. But yeah, the 918, of course, one of the supercar Holy Trinity, along with the P1 and the LaFerrari. And one of the cars actually I haven't seen that many of, which seems, almost kind of odd. I've seen a few P1s, I've seen a couple LaFerraris, but this is only, I guess, officially the third 918 that I've seen, and I don't have any guarantee that this isn't the same one that I maybe saw at the auto show. But of course, 918 kind of, Porsche's kind of halo car back then, again, part of the supercar Holy Trinity. It's got the big V8 engine with the hybrid system, makes 918 horsepower, hence the name, the 918. But yeah, just an epic car, the 918. And again, it's kind of weird that it's one of the cars that is super special today, but you don't really see, at least I don't really see a lot of them around. So, compared to like a P1 LaFerrari, this is actually kind of a special moment to actually see a 918. Of course, now I have to ask the question, if you had enough money to choose one of the hypercar Holy Trinity, then the Porsche 918, the McLaren P1, or the Ferrari LaFerrari, which one would you take? I mean, obviously, I want to say I take the 918 sitting here right now, but unfortunately, Porsche, I think I'm going to have to go with the LaFerrari on this one. But let me know down in the comments below which one you guys would pick out of those three, 918, P1, or LaFerrari. But again, just super epic to see a 918. It's one of those cars you don't see all that often. It's just such an iconic car. And it's just, casually sitting here at 5 Reserve. Now, normally we would see the Pagani, the Purple Wire Roadster. We actually have a model car version of it back here. So normally this thing is sitting here, but we've seen this a couple times. I don't want to say this is kind of old news, but I've probably seen this Pagani about 4 or 5 times. This is only the third 918 I've ever seen. So yeah, just again, really cool. And as I mentioned before a couple times, guys, like I said, you come over here, you never know what you're going to find. So just to point out some, I guess, the kind of cool things with the 918, of course, with it being, kind of, I guess you could say, as a successor in a way to the Carrera GT. So it is actually a convertible. It has a Targa roof here, so you can take off the 2 roof panels and they'll store up in the front trunk area there. And of course, with it being a hybrid, on the left side here, we have our fuel filler cap. And then if I swing around here past the engine, which was actually, the 918 was one of the first cars that actually have a top mount exhaust. The 600LT has it now, but I think since the 918, no other car has had a top exhaust like this until the 600LT came on. That was actually a factory car. You can get them replaced on some cars, but for an actual factory car, the only two that I know of are the 918 and the 600LT. But moving on, like I said, it's a hybrid. On the driver's side there, we have the fuel filler cap, and on this side we have the electronic plug-in, so you can charge up the batteries. Again, this is a hybrid system, and one of the cool things that you may not notice, again, on this car, like the Carrera GT, is it has center locking wheels, but each side has a specific color. So on the passenger side on this car, you see it has a blue center locking caps, and if we come over here to the driver's side, it has red ones. So that's so that when you go out racing, you pull up to a pit stop or whatever, you're not sure, red is driver's side, blue is passenger side, or I guess vice versa, whichever way it goes. But that way you never screw up which wheel goes on which side. Anyways, guys, fun fact, like I just mentioned, with this car, the Carrera GT had that as well. I believe it was the same thing. The passenger side had the blue center lock wheels, and the driver's side had the red. So again, you can never really screw up which side the wheels go on. So guys, if we go back to the Porsches for a second, one of the other ways that's pretty obvious to tell the differences, so this one here in front of me is the black GT3 RS, and have a look at the front bumper. This one's pretty short, doesn't stick out that much. And then if we come over here to the GT2 RS, you can see its front splitter is much larger, and it literally says GT2 RS on the bumper as well. But even if it didn't say that, that's another way that you can just tell that the cars are ever so slightly different. You know, because the GT2 RS has much more power and everything, it has more downforce, so it has a bigger front splitter, whereas the GT3, not quite as powerful, not quite as much aero needed on that car. So yeah, but at first glance, you know, they look really similar, but then once you start looking at those little details, you're easy to tell which is which, and you can also impress your friends that way when you guys go to the car meeting to argue over which Porsche is better. Alright everyone, so we've just made a quick pit stop over to the Ferrari Maserati dealership, and there's not much to talk about for the Maseratis except for this thing here, which I'm completely just reading off of the sheet right here, but this is the 1982 Maserati Merak. What can I say about it? It's got a V6, makes 159 horsepower, top speed 220 kilometers an hour. So for back in the day, pretty good. And considering that number out of a V6, not so bad. Of course, not quite as fast as, you know, even something like this, the new SUV, the Levante or the Quattroporte, but kind of cool to see kind of a piece of like Maserati history here. Unfortunately, there's a line in front of me, so this is close. So I guess we can't really see it, but yeah. Pretty cool car. If I find a picture of one, I'll throw a picture up on the screen so you guys can see a better idea. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And you know, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time over here at Ferrari. This is a private collection up top, and really I just want to come here and check out the new F8. Alright guys, so we gotta be kind of quick at Ferrari here. They are kind of closed but without appointment only, but they're nice enough to let us just take a quick look at some of the cars. And really the only car that I want to check out in person is this, the new F8. It's kind of sandwiched in here between a couple of 488 Spiders, but yeah, the new F8, of course, kind of sharing the same V8 twin turbo as the 488 generation. It's basically just a pretty, the kind of the successor car to that, but all new body lines. You can see here, crazy new rear end, much different than the 488 over there. Yeah, this is the F8 Tributo, the coupe version, and then there's the F8 Spider as well. They don't have one in the showroom right now. But yeah, pretty cool to see this, just kind of see, you know, where the Ferrari line is going, coming from the 488 over to this. I would argue this is a little bit nicer. And you know, this is also kind of a preview of like what the new SF90 is going to look like. You can see inside, all new interior with kind of the new design Ferrari wheel, which we pop over to this side so you can actually see better. So you can kind of see the new interior, kind of the new style Ferrari wheel, if I compare it over here to the 488. Kind of the older generation is still nice, but it's, you know, it's kind of nice. You can see right here, this is kind of the outgoing car, and then we have the new car over here. But yeah, F8 new wheel design, completely kind of new body style. Kind of keeps some things like you can see here, the rear kind of louvers or radiator access is basically the same on the 488 as it is on the F8. So yeah, just kind of some minor upgrades on this car, but I think the biggest place you see it is on the front end. I mean, just look at that new front end compared to, again, something like the 48, which is the outgoing car. Alright guys, so my battery's dying, and you know, we kind of have to leave Ferrari, but it wouldn't be a complete trip over here if I didn't at least come and check out the 812. I'm sorry if this clip dies off because my battery's dying, but real quickly, the Ferrari 812, kind of the current production series, the big naturally aspirated V12 engine making about 800 horsepower. We've seen this car before. It's really nice interior with the kind of contrast white stitching with a kind of all black front, the red paint with the black wheels, and yeah, the 812, I mean, the successor to the F12, and just probably, like, I don't know, one of the greatest cars ever built. I know it's probably one of my favorite cars that's currently being built right now, and definitely, you know, if I had the money, pick one up. Just the sound out of this thing is just absolutely beautiful, and it's a sound we're not going to hear much longer with kind of the V12 is going to be slowly dying out with everything going, you know, smaller engines and with boost, you know, turbochargers, superchargers. This is kind of one of the last of a breed along with the Aventador, so yeah, definitely one of the cars that I think down the future is going to be real collectible and really cherished. And then to kind of round the showroom tour, so we have the two 488 Spiders with the F8 Tributo in the middle of them. We have a California T over here. We have a Ferrari Portofino. There's a 599 GTB, or it might be a GTO. No, just a 599 GT. Oh, it is 599 GTO over here. And then we have the old Ferrari 512 BB, just a classic old school Ferrari. And yeah, not a whole lot to say on this one, guys, but 512 BB, I know this is kind of my dad's favorite old Ferrari, and you can currently pick one up here for $499,987 Canadian if you so choose. Alright guys, so I made it back into the car. I switched on my battery. It was starting to die there at Ferrari. So yeah, like I said, really no plan for today. We're just going to kind of cruise up to the Lamborghini dealership, see if we can't maybe see anything. I don't know if we'll be actually allowed to go into the showroom. I think I read something that said they were closed unless you have an appointment. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be lucky, run into my buddy Mark who works there, maybe get in and see something. But if not, we'll just kind of look at what they have through the window. And there's always cool stuff sitting at Lamborghini as well. And then that'll pretty much do it for this video. So yeah, stay tuned off the Lambo, and we'll be there in, well, a few minutes for you, but just another second for you guys. Alright guys, so we made it over here to the Grand Touring, the Lamborghini and Aston Martin dealership. Now hopefully you guys caught, I just was able to catch coming in that new DBX being delivered. Unfortunately I didn't grab it out of the car fast enough, but we saw a little sneak preview of it. There's not one in the showroom to actually show you guys right now, but I'm going to try to maybe sneak around the side and see if we can't see it. But yeah, we're here at Lambo. In a second I'm going to see if we'll actually be able to go into the showroom. There's nobody else in there right now, so we might be able to finesse our way in there. So as always guys, there's always cool stuff here at Lambo. So outside parts, currently we have the Huracan Evo all-wheel drive Spider, and then on the inside you can kind of see through the glass, but we have two of the rear-wheel drive variants. And if you look, I'll show you in a second, but if you look at the front end of this car and even the Spider over there, these are the rear-wheel drive variants. And then if I come back over here to this one, you'll see on the front how kind of that front nose is different. So that's how you can tell really quickly by looking at them which is the all-wheel drive. All the all-wheel drive cars have a bit more of that kind of opening, they have a bigger gap there. And then on the rear-wheel drive ones, this piece is kind of more connected up here. It almost looks kind of more like the Squadra Corsa or even kind of like the Performante style front end. So that's one really subtle way that you can tell by looking at the cars which is the all-wheel drive version, which is the rear-wheel drive. Then of course we have this really mean, sinister looking all black SVJ Roadster. Like I said, in a second here I'm going to see if we can't maybe pop inside, grab a couple of pictures of them. But yeah, all this crazy stuff. This is a crazy color here. This Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive Spider. I think it's blue, Glauco blue, which is an ad personam color. Again, I'm going through the window, so you know, not gonna really do it justice over the camera. But yeah, kind of crazy stuff. I can see a Performante lurking in the bay in the back. There's an Aventador S Roadster in yellow over there, and there's just a couple kind of your regular Huracans behind the desk there. But also front, oh of course, there's a Urus. There's a blue Urus up front there. There's a black one over here. There's a DB11 convertible. I'm guessing this is probably the V8 version. I'll zoom out there. So yeah, DB11 convertible. There's a white V8 Vantage Roadster kind of down there beside my car. There's a couple more Vantages inside the showroom here. You can see there's a red Vantage right there. There's a DB11 there. There's a DBS convertible, and then there's a DBS Superleggera in red at the back there, which actually we've seen a couple times before. Yeah, in a second here, let's see if we can maybe not pop inside. But if not, this is kind of the tour, the quick tour of Grand Touring here at Lamborghini. But yeah, let's see if we can maybe get inside. Alright guys, so that's not the DBX that we saw getting delivered, but there's another example there. Unfortunately, we can't get in the showroom right now just because of the pandemic. They're closed unless you have an appointment. But you can kind of see the DBX there with Performante lurking in the background a little bit. If I switch windows over here, you can see there's a Bentayga currently being unwrapped. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see because I can't really zoom in that far. But just up there, kind of DBX, you can just see kind of the butt end of a Veyron. And the SJ220, you can't really see, but the SJ220 is beside, but we've seen that car a million times before. It kind of just lives here. But yeah, didn't expect to see a Veyron here today, but as I mentioned before, when you come to these dealerships, guys, you never know what you're going to see. Like, you come looking for a Lamborghini, and oh, there's a casual Veyron in the back. But anyways, that's been a kind of a quick video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Like I said, there was no real plan. Just figured I'd come out, hang out with my friend here, see what kind of crazy cars there were. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And again, let me know down below if you ever want to see any more of these cars. I can try to set something up. Let me know that also if you could pick one car from everything that we've seen today, what would you choose? I think for me, having just seen the Veyron, I'd probably go for the Veyron, although the SVJ in there is really nice too. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling on. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.